Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that, so when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila
tonight. Shock and dismay as several government departments defend high expenditure and extra demands on the budget, with the Deputy President's office asking for more than 1.6 billion shillings in funds for repairs of both the Deputy President's residence, a building only launched in 2012 after 450 million shilling construction, and Harambee House Annex. Also tonight, the Ministry of Health on high alert after new reports indicate that scores of Kenyans have contracted cholera due to the ongoing floods, with the situation expected to get worse.
This morning I had a brief. We have about 56 cases of cholera.
And the devastation from the landslide in Kimende is yet to abate 24 hours after the fatal incident, with several locals still trapped under the rubble of the buildings that were destroyed.
Na watoto wetu waliangamia katika hiyo mafuriko. Nimejua sababu tumewatafuta usiku mzima na hatukuwapata. Na mbeleni tulikuwa tunaongea na wao kwa simu.
Good evening and welcome to this live broadcast, the 15th of May. We are about to tell you all the things that have been making headlines. My name is Hibaq Said. On sign language interpretation tonight is Rhoda Nyamai. Let's start. President William Ruto has defended his administration's move to impose additional taxes on Kenyans, saying it's the only way to get the country out of debt. Now, the president's statements comes in the backdrop of nationwide criticism over the finance bill, which proposes additional taxes on bread and motor vehicle tax. Among other items, the Kenya Kwanza revenue-raising measures. George Maringa is telling us more.
Think about the future.
Brace yourselves for more taxes if the recent remarks by President William Ruto at a meeting in State House, Nairobi, are anything to go by.
If we are a serious state, we must be able to enhance our taxes.
For a president who has been vocal about his stand on taxes, Ruto was quick to enumerate the same during a meeting with a team from the American Harvard University. The head of state further says he intends to raise the country's average tax rate from 14% to 16% by the end of 2024.
My drive is to push Kenya. Possibly this year we will be at 16%. From 14%. I want in my term, God willing, to leave it at between 20 and 22%.
The latest push for more taxes came barely a week after the introduction of the proposed Finance Bill 2024.
It's going to be difficult. I have a lot of explaining to do. People will complain, but I know finally they will appreciate that the money we go to borrow from the World Bank is savings of other countries. We have to begin to live within our means.
The Finance Bill 2024 was published on May 9th and is due to be subjected to public participation afterwards. The bill contains tax proposals that the Kenya Kwanza government intends to use to raise revenue and finance its ambitious projects.
If we look at our peers, and Kenyans have been socialized to believe that they pay the highest taxes. But empirical data shows Kenya as of last year, our tax as a percentage of our revenues was 14%. Our peers in the continent is on average between 22 and 25%.
Among the proposals is the introduction of a motor vehicle tax with a rate of 2.5% of the vehicle's value. The minimum tax payable to the taxman on each vehicle at the time of issuance of insurance cover will be 5,000 shillings with a maximum amount of 100,000 Kenya shillings. The bill further states that the calculation would be based on make, model, engine capacity and year of manufacture. George Maringa, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, George. Azimio principal and Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has threatened to call for mass protests if the Finance Bill 2024 becomes law. Kalonzo, while addressing an Azimio Coalition Parliamentary Group forum, said the coalition is ready and willing to return to the streets over the bill that has proposed to add 16% value-added tax on bread, additional taxes on mobile money transfers, airtime, data, and motor vehicle circulation tax. Apollo Kamau tells us more.
It has been agreed.
In what could coincide with the anniversary of last year's protests over the Finance Bill 2023, the opposition Azimio could soon hit the streets to protest the Finance Bill 2024 if it becomes law. During a coalition parliamentary group meeting to take stock of the coalition performance and the way forward on key national matters in Parliament, Kalonzo told the coalition supporters to brace for protests.
As a coalition, we are ready to go back to the streets if that is what it takes. And I hope you are bold enough. I hope you are bold enough if they now go and cause aggression again on public participation. And if you feel a little weak spiritually, that you don't think you can withstand another round of demonstrations, then go eat something strong. We need you. We need you. And this country needs you.
During the PG meeting that also issued a 2 to 6 month ultimatum on the implementation of the remaining bills from the NADCO report, Azimio called out Kenya Kwanza for burdening Kenyans with high taxes, an abuse of the NADCO dialogue process, which committed to lower the cost of living.
His Excellency Kalonzo said it rightfully. This nation can only be changed if there are demonstrations, no negotiations. We need to swing and stop singing.
In the proposals that have triggered anger among Kenyans, Treasury proposes a 16% VAT on bread, which, if approved, will increase the price of bread from the current 65 shillings to 75 shillings. Also causing controversy are new levies on mobile money transfers, airtime, and data. Another controversial tax, motor vehicle circulation tax, at a rate of 2.5% of the vehicle's value at the time of issuance of insurance cover.
Your only dreams are how to make life even more difficult for Kenyans. Which other areas can you impart some pain on Kenyans until you get to the place where you are thinking of imposing taxation on bread?
We start our revolutionary path on Friday, and we are starting it. It is actually our homegrown way of maandamano.
Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga, who ruffled feathers in Mukuru over government response to floods, has taken a backseat in volatile politics to avoid jeopardizing his African Union chairmanship campaigns. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Thank you, Apollo. In the coming financial year 2024-2025, the Office of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is now seeking 1.12 billion shillings to enable renovations at both Harambee Annex Office and his current residence. In the proposal contained in the 2024-2025 budget estimates, the Office of the Deputy President defended the intended expenditure, saying the offices were old and dilapidated. Speaking when he appeared before the National Assembly on Administration and National Security, Patrick Mwangi, an officer from the DP's office, sought the committee to allow them spend 460.4 million shillings to renovate their Harambee Annex office. He asked for 1.12 billion shillings to renovate the Harambee Annex office and his current residence, 660 million shillings to enable them refurbish their current offices as well. His vote caught the attention of Narok West Member of Parliament Gabriel Tongoyo-led committee by surprise, with members wondering why the DP wanted such huge amounts of money for the renovations amidst calls to reduce expenditure by public offices. Now, at the same time, the Deputy President's office is also seeking 250 million shillings to enable them spearhead the war against alcohol and substance abuse. All right. A wise, magnificent example with integrity and dedication. Those were the words of President William Ruto while mourning the late Chief of Defense Forces, General Francis Ogola, while he led the gathering in marking a moment of silence at the pass-out parade of Kenya Defense Forces officers at the Defense Forces Recruit Training Schools in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County. Moige William reports.
As the saying goes, a general never dies. At the Defense Forces Recruit Training School in Eldoret, Wednesday, during the pass-out parade of Kenya Defense Forces officers, President William Ruto posed his speech to lead the gathering in a moment of silence in memory of the late Chief of Defense Forces, General Francis Ogola.
His legacy will continue to inspire many. Please, let us stand for a moment of silence to honor his memory and the lives of those lost alongside him.
During the president's speech, showered the late general with praise of his immense contribution while at the helm of the Kenya Defense Forces until his untimely death, together with other military officers who passed on following a helicopter crash. Ruto stating that the country still mourns the death of the military personnel.
Ogola's wise leadership, magnificent example, integrity and dedication exemplified the best of Kenyan professionalism, representing the KDF at its finest.
While commending the Defense Forces Recruit Training School community for the exemplary work in educating, training soldiers and equipping them with necessary knowledge and skills, President Ruto urged members of the forces to exude the best of professionalism while keeping Kenya's land, water and air territories safe, further directing in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment for the KDF to achieve the 15 billion tree planting programs.
This campaign is a cornerstone of our national strategy to combat climate change and enhance our environmental resilience, thereby promoting overall security for our people, their properties and livelihoods.
The president assured KDF officers the government's unwavering support and commitment to the continuous enhancement of their capabilities and the promotion of their welfare to ensure that they are well equipped to meet current and emerging challenges. Mwege William, TV47.
Thank you, Moige. A landslide in Matathia Kimede in Larry constituency of Kiambu County is believed to have confined a number of individuals, while search and rescue efforts are in progress to locate them. And as Micah Gwongo reports, the process is expected to take more time following the presence of rubble caused by loose soil around the area.
Jana jioni ndio kulitokea hiyo mafuriko. na watoto wetu waliangamia katika hiyo mafuriko. Ninajua sababu tumewatafuta usiku mzima na hatukuwapata, na mbeleni tulikuwa tunaongea na wao kwa simu, na wakati maporomoko ilipofika hawakuongea tena. Kwa sababu huyo wangu hakuongea tena, sikumsikia tena mpaka asubuhi, hata mpaka saa hii sijampata, sijamsikia. Nimejaribu kumpigia mchana wote na sijamsikia. Kila saa simu ni mteja. Alikuwa ametumwa dukani Kimende na shosho yake. Na sasa alikuwa akiteremka kurudi nyumbani. Kulikuwa usiku karibu saa 1:30. Ndio alikuwa anarudi nyumbani. Akakutana na hiyo mkasa.
Nilisikia vibaya juu kulikuwa kama saa 1, nikapigia simu nikaambiwa barabara imekatika. Enyewe hatukufurahia juu tulikuja tukakuta barabara imeanguka na watoto huko. So mimi sikufurahia.
And currently we are here to support with the evacuation of the 3 people who are feared trapped in the landslide that happened yesterday. Currently, right now, the excavation exercise is going on. I think it started very early morning. And working together with many partners, and especially a lot of support with machinery from the county government to support with the evacuation. So as we speak right now, we've been able to offer psychosocial support to the families that are affected and generally to the community, because the community is in shock. So that is what we've been able to do. We've also been able to mobilize our volunteers and equally to mobilize other partners to be able to help us to run the operation.
Financial year 2023-2024 waliweza kutoa close to 30 billion wakaziondoa kwa mpango huu wa barabara za Maumau wakapeleka mahali kwingine. Kwa hivyo tunaona kama wameregea kiasi. Kwa hivyo tungewaomba tafadhali, kwa sababu hii ni miradi ambayo ilianzishwa hapo bereni, iweze kukamilika before waanze projects zingine ambazo zenye already zilikuwa zimewekwa na zimepatiwa fedha na kila kitu ilikuwa.
New reports indicate that more than 50 Kenyans have contracted cholera due to the ongoing floods, and now the Ministry of Health has launched a health emergency preparedness response and resilience project for eastern and southern counties in the wake of the ongoing impacts of climate change. Elizabeth Atieno now reports.
The floods have in no doubt threatened both lives and livelihoods. The health sector has not been spared from the adverse impacts of climate change. And now the Ministry of Health has raised an alarm over the rising cases of cholera in the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, infectious diseases remain a serious health challenge across Africa, and particularly the Eastern and Southern African region. We have frequent outbreaks. Even as a country now, this morning I had a brief, we have about 56 cases of cholera. So we have frequent outbreaks of Ebola, Marburg, yellow fever, and chikungunya in the recent years. And these outbreaks continue to exert pressure on our health systems.
The unprecedented flooding that has greatly impacted infrastructure has prevented millions of people from accessing health services.
Where we formed the multi-agency team, the national team that is coordinating the emergency, and that's why we are calling upon the development partners who are able to support the country. We have, for example, AMREF, we have Red Cross. They have all gone down to Tana River and we are supporting them. We are making sure that we are able to provide medication.
Health CS Susan Akumicha has expressed the urgent need for enhanced public health emergency response measures in light of the ongoing floods.
Besides this, our health facilities have been destroyed, and all the critical infrastructure that was in place in these facilities has been cut off.
On Wednesday, the Ministry of Health unveiled the Health Emergency Preparedness Response and Resilience Project for Eastern and Southern African countries. This initiative is said to be crucial in fostering regional collaboration to enhance health security. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Public participation on the 2024-2025 budget estimates has begun across various counties to allow members of the public to interact with the general outlook of the national budget and to give suggestions on what the government should focus on in order to be more responsive to the people's needs. Anne Odida with the details.
12 constituencies of Kiambu County turned up at the Kiambu National Polytechnic, where the public participation in the 2024-2025 budget estimates was conducted. Among issues raised that needed great attention for this financial year budget allocation included the sorting out and completion of stalled projects, electricity on the county roads, improvement of the county's coffee farms, water dams, and for youths to be given priority.
Mainly on roads, we have so much been affected by the budget cut, especially on areas to do with Mau Mau. We have another road that we are constructing in our constituency. The contractor is out of sight because of the pending bills. So they have said, let us prioritize our pending bill.
However, the issue of electricity in Kiambu County has proven to be an existing matter, even as county members of parliament hit out at the county governor for halting the installation of street lights, a matter they say has led to the rise of insecurity.
Lakini shida yetu kama Kiambu ni gavana wetu wa matangi, na nataka kuongea ukweli. Na hapa saa tukuja kumlima, lakini tunaongea ukweli.
Tunataka kuambia governor, this time sio tafadhali, hapana. This time watu wanataka stima na tutaweka stima.
However, a section of Kenyans still raise concerns about the validity of the public participation and if their views will be put into consideration.
And whatever they say, it will be taken as gospel truth. And therefore, it is very important they take the views of Kenyans and their people, because those are the people they are representing.
At the same time, at the Machakos Parliamentary Committee meeting on the budget, Machakos Member of Parliament Caleb Mule strongly criticized the committee members for not having a share game in the allocation of national resources. Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula on his part called on the members of parliament to follow the right course in the process of the 2024 budget bill instead of playing politics in public meetings.
Tafadhali save the public the agony ya kuja kulia mbele ya wananchi kwamba finance bill ni baya, budget ni baya, na nyinyi ndio mnapitisha.
The public hearing are being conducted in 20 counties and are slated to conclude on Friday, May 17. Ann Odida, TV47.
Thank you, Anne. Junior school teachers from Baringo County are up in arms over alleged neglect from the Teachers Service Commission, with the teachers incensed at what they say is TSC's move cold shoulder to their grievances. The JS teachers currently on intern status wish to be employed in permanent and pensionable terms. Ruga Eval tells us more.
The statement that I saw yesterday from the Teachers Service Commission is a big joke.
It is the outcry of junior secondary school teachers, accusing the Teachers Service Commission of laxity in taking a look at the issues affecting the teachers.
We expect it to give us a statement on how it is rolling out our employment program into PNP terms.
Addressing the media during peaceful demonstration, they have emphasized the Commission's obligation to comply with court orders regarding their payments and allowances.
TSC must respect the court orders. 2, we are saying that we need confirmation. And 3, we are saying you TSC to compensate us. The court spoke very well in its judgment, and it says that JSS teachers must be compensated and confirmed immediately.
What other experience does TSC want us to have? What experience don't we have that the 2021 graduates have? We want to ask TSC to be honest and truthful.
The most affected teachers are junior secondary school interns who on a monthly basis receives a stipend of 17,000, which they claim it is not even enough to meet their basic needs.
We cannot allow our JSS teachers to go to school when they are earning 17,000 shillings. 17,000 shillings in Lokumkum Primary School in Baringo cannot even make to be enough for transport alone. I want to ask the government, what type of internship is this? You are having a teacher in internship and you are saying that we are trying to train them to be good teachers. And yet you have given a permanent job to somebody who finished last year.
Additionally, they have demanded their employment to be conducted in accordance with the Constitution, advocating for permanent employment and pensionable terms, failure to which they will continue being on the streets till their demands are met.
Why don't you allow that one to go for internship and put on permanent those who are internship?
Correct.
What are you doing about it? You are very busy going to pass bills in parliament. and yet you have people who are earning 17,000.
The teachers' demonstrations have been ongoing for the last 1 week, where teachers in JSS have been complaining of poor pay and poor working conditions. Ruga Ival, TV47.
Thank you, Ruga. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has set the record straight on reports that Kenyans were detained in Kinshasa over serious cross-border crime allegations. Specifically, PCS Musalia maintains that Kenyan nationals were neither involved in money laundering nor transportation of illegal goods, distancing Kenya's national carrier Kenya Airways over such allegations. Mr. Musalia further revealed that the two nationals are out to mend the relations between the nations ahead of a slated state visit. Speaking while appearing before the National Assembly Defense Committee to defend their budget estimates for the financial year 2024-2025, as well as the supplementary budgets, Mudavadi told the committee that they require more funds, especially on the geopolitics surrounding the AUC lobbying. However, MPs raised questions on the 1.2 billion pending bills in the ministry.
They are not incarcerated anymore. They were released, and I was in Kinshasa a few days ago as a special envoy of President Ruto. I delivered that special message. We had a conversation with all the authorities, including the President Tshisekedi, and the team is no longer incarcerated. We also then went further to make sure that we normalize our relations with DRC. So we expect a state visit from the head of state of DRC, which he acceded to, and he'll give the dates, so that we amplify the role that Kenya is playing in the region to secure the peace and stability broadly. The geopolitics is such that things are very serious around us, and we will need a lot of intervention at all levels, and most critically from Parliament, which allocates resources.
Elsewhere, flood victims in Homa Bay County have now spoken on their encounter of the floods that caused deaths and destruction. They were speaking during the requiem mass of 4 people who lost their lives to the dangerous flood waters. The residents want the government to intervene and help them in getting their lives back in order. The floods that ravaged the country disoriented a number of people, with some being forced to vacate their homes for fear of being swept away by the floods.
Mimi nikaacha kwa varanda, wengine nikawaambia ingia kwa nyumba. Mvua ikanyesha kidogo, nikasikia kwa milima pu.
Survivors narrating the ordeals.
Ile kwa milima nikaona moshi ile ambao ni nyekundu zaidi wesi ona tena. Sasa saa kidogo nikasikia nyumba ikaanza kutingisa.
The horrifying details of their experiences still sending shivers down their spines. An experience both unbelievable and unforgettable.
We were 11 children. Out of 11, we are now remaining 8.
Some lost their family members to the floods that also left them homeless with no way to start over.
Ndio tukaona chini ile ora imekuwa nyingi, ile flat imekuwa nyingi, ikapeleka manyumba yote. Sasa uzuri ilikuwa mchana. Watu wengi hawakuwa kwa nyumba, wale wachache ambao walikuwa kwa nyumba wakasikia ngurumo wakatoroka.
Hopefully their cries will be heard and help will come to them.
Now under pressure, we don't know where to start and where we might end.
The floods that were brought about by the heavy rains that continued upon the country for weeks caused havoc countrywide, with the government urging its citizens to stay alert and safe. Vera Alberta, TV47.
Thank you, Vera. In a bid to control the sale and consumption of miraa and muguka in Mombasa County, the county governor Abdul Swamad Nasir today met with Embu Governor Cecilia Mbarire to deliberate on how the two counties can both benefit from the control of the cash crop, which is a major cash crop in Embu County. In a bid to cushion miraa farmers and distributors, the Embu governor has suggested that the fee be reduced from 80,000 Kenyan shillings, which had been previously set by Mombasa County administration, to 60,000 Kenyan shillings. Additionally, regulations have been put in place to ensure there will be no sale of the product around schools and places of worship. However, shop owners have been warned from selling miraa and muguka alongside other general products in the shops.
Leo kuna barua itaenda kwa kampuni zote za basi na kampuni zote ambazo kwamba zenye kuleta mizigo. Wafanye uamuzi kwa mujibu wa sheria. Waamue ikiwa wameamua wanataka kugeuza, hawataki tena kubeba abiria, wanataka kubeba miraa na muguka, ni hiari yao, lakini watuambie ya kwa gari zao zinabeba miraa na muguka. Lakini mambo ya kuficha miraa na muguka kisha baada pale hatujui pahali ambapo kwamba inaenda, hatutokubali. Hatuko katika jambo hili ili kuweza kuumiza mtu yoyote ambaye kwamba mwenye kutaka kufanya biashara, lakini tuko katika hali ya kwa ni lazima tuweze kuwastiri watoto wetu. Kila siku hatuwezi kuwa tunaangalia mavideo kuona ya kwa vijana wanabeba mapanga. Kila siku hatuwezi kuwa tunatiwa katika vyombo vya habari ya kwa kuna watoto ambao kwamba wamepelekwa trees, watoto wamepelekwa katika rehab. Fungeni maduka. Kama mutaki kufunga maduka, yaacheni wazi, lakini muwe munauza mkate, sukari, chumvi, maziwa. Miraa ni lazima iwe ni pahali ambapo kwamba serikali ya county imekubaliana.
As the people of Embu County, we fully support the need to regulate the trade here in Mombasa, the muguka trade here in Mombasa. We are also very cognizant on the need, which is a moral need, to protect our children from the consumption of these products.
With that, we go for a very short breather. When we come back, more news and then the marketplace. Don't go too far.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni Ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that, so when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.